Okay, let's get started. Let's get this party started. Greetings, everyone out there. This is your man, Kaiser, the SLS Network. Are we growing big and strong? We growing big and strong. Everybody need to have their own. We're gonna be doing a lot of great things. This is just the beginning, and we just getting our feet off the ground because we got a lot of ideas. First thing is communications, because we got to let the people know what's going on. But we can't depend on YouTube. That's their own community. We need our own community. Okay? And we could be interacting without being censored, without being peeped on. A lot of people like to listen in. So we're gonna fix that with our own communication system, satellite. And I've got experience in that area because I've had my uh, radio license for over 20 years. And they got a way we can do it by satellite. Don't cost you nothing. But of course, you want to contribute because we don't accept donations. Because if you give a donation, that means we don't have nothing to do with you. But if you contribute, that means it's yours. You tell us how you want to use the funds. So these are some of the things we'll be doing with SLS private membership. So, hey, we starting off private, so let me know who you are. We'll make contact and get this party started. Of course, we all start with private first as our families and people we care about. Then we spread out from there. So I got to make sure you are somebody the family would want to have and someone your family want to have. In other words, we just got to get to know each other. Now, uh, we don't use what's that place people go to try to get me to go to. I just don't like it. Don't have a good vibe about that place. What's up? Yeah, what's up? Nope, we're not using that. You can find us on Telegram though. We got a good vibe about that. See, everything is checked out. Everything is frequency and vibration. So we check out the frequency and vibration of different places before we go there. Yeah, physically, spiritually, and mentally. We got to check out the vibration to see if it's a good place to go. Okay, all right. So, one thought I want to share before I forget about it, before we leave, is this idea of Blondie. Those who are old enough remember there was a movie called Blondie back in the 60s. And she was like Dennis the Menace. Oh, he's blonde too, right? Okay. Hmm. Wait a minute. There's some type of pattern here. Blondie was outrageous. Dennis the Menace. I don't know about them blondes. Anyway, I was looking at this administration. I may have did this video before. I don't know, but it's staying in my mind. So guess I need to do it again. If something stayed in my mind, that's the scientists or whoever in my wider circle, because I haven't really delved into who they are. But if what they tell me is right, yeah, I go with it. But I check the vibration. I don't have to be personal with them. Who are you? No, I check your vibration. I tell who you are. And most of them are scientists in my family line, in my bloodline. They're scientists. That's all I need to know. I'm not going to get into their personal life. They don't want me to do that. And I'm not. So they just on another plane. They give me information on this plane. And some of it coming from my own mind as well. In other words, they what they do is they bring back your memory. See, a lot of times in my particular situation, I have very scattered patches of memory. Now, my brother can tell you everything, and he just a couple years younger than me. But my memory, he tell me things. I say, really? I did that? Oh. If we talk about it long enough, I say, oh yeah, I remember. But my memory has been scattered like that. And I used to wonder, why is that? Why do he have that very good memory of the past and I do not? Then they told me they has taken some of my memory to be paired with the new knowledge that they be giving me. And that's what's been happening since April. Since April, I've been getting memories, but with the memory, I get some more knowledge that I didn't have at the time. So just talking about it, it looked like what was happening was that the knowledge I was given was coming to me as if it was mine. That way I would accept it. That makes sense because if you got a lot of information and you don't know exactly where it came from, it'll kind of, for lack of a better word, make you a little disturbed, right? So to keep me from being all out of shape, they said, we're going to take that knowledge, or we're going to hold it from you for a few decades, and we're going to feed it back to you in bits and pieces with ancestral knowledge. So you can see beyond what you saw at the time. So when you get all the knowledge together, you're going to be able to determine which is yours and what you remember. In other words, because you didn't remember it, you can't say that you didn't at one time have those thoughts. I hope this being clear. Because I'm just analyzing as I'm speaking what's going on. Because I advise you to do that as well. Talk things out with your higher self and get understanding of what's going on. So what? People look at you talking, hey, it's not their conversation, it's your conversation. And I'm glad on this forum because if I wasn't talking to the phone, people would be looking at me and saying, what's wrong with him? Who is he talking to? Well, he's on the phone. Okay. But what if you're not on the phone? What if you're just talking to yourself? Because you're more than one person. I hope you know that. And you're trying to get some clarity on some things. See, Western has painted that as unsound. West people, now this not, most people around the world don't see that as unsound. They see that as a sign of a very spiritual person. People who are talking when they don't see anyone else around don't mean someone else is not around. See, Western man is very limited in his thinking. And I'm speaking to the tribes now. We got to get away from this man thinking. Because he's very, very limited. And if you go up in his schools without knowing who you are first, you're going to be limited too. And you won't even know how limited you are because you never took the time to know who you are first. That's the advantage I had. I got a scholarship right out of high school because I was the top of the class. And I said, man, these people are crazy. They just want to party with TVs in the dorm. I said, man, I'm out of here. See, I wasn't ready for that timeline. I wasn't to be in that timeline. And so what they had me do, yeah, the people looking after me, they said you go and have different experiences and travel around the world, and we'll see if we're gonna prepare you to go through those colleges and get what you have to learn, what you need. Not there's some things you don't need to know. We're gonna let you do that in about 20 years later. I didn't know at the time, but sure enough, around the age of 40, I found myself in school. This time, going through getting a degree. But all the propaganda that came with that, wow! I was able to divide myself from the propaganda because I had knowledge of who I am. Man, I ain't talked this much in a while. So y'all getting a treat. Y'all getting the benefits of how I think. What was I talking about before I got on me? Okay, blondes. These blondes. Yeah, there's a lot of blondes in the administration. And a lot of them are not natural. They want to be blondes. So what is it about this blondie? And not only that, you got black people want to be blondes. Dye their hair, fry their brains to be blonde. So it's just like it's a cult. It's a cult. Now, when you look at people like, who was that man who was running the show in Germany in the 1930s? He wasn't blonde, but he wanted a blonde race of people. Remember that? The people he wanted to rule was all blonde. You look at the newsreel, and you don't see any dark-haired ones around. Oh, I see. So I'm doing some investigation with that blonde because it's most of them are from Slavics. Yeah, if you're not your born blonde, you're from the Slavic area. Translation: slave area. That's where the name slave come from, Slavics. So they know they were the original slaves. They did what you call it? I gotta go watch that movie again. Trading Places, man. I gotta watch that movie again because I've learned so much. They did a trading place on you and made you a slave, and you love and call yourself black. So you're totally disfranchised yourself by calling yourself black, meaning you have no rights they have to recognize. Yeah. You say you are dead to the law. Oh, you didn't know what that would black mean? Okay. Well, it's not gonna change. You're gonna keep calling yourself black. Cause James Brown's told you to do that. Say it loud. Boop. Then he stopped talking. And you said I'm black and I'm proud, but James Brown never. He's Cherokee. Yeah. Do the research. He's probably a Cherokee. Yeah, when you look at him, you look at his features, his phenotype, and you can see the Cherokee in him, size and everything. And the way he can move, he had those quick moving synapses in his body. Shows he really of that warrior class. Really of that warrior class. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about briefly. Uh, Even Orange Man is not a natural blonde. You look at some old pictures, you see, oh, he was dark hair. So why do you want to? Oh, okay. And all the women around him, except the natural the one who's native born. Well, they call her Indian Tolbert. The ones who got Indian, she's not gonna try to go blonde because that'd be too obvious. Toasty, I love you, sister. But you got to recognize who you're representing. Yeah, we're related, you know. And the so-called Native Americans are not native to this country. So I'm gonna call you Sister Toasty because you got to know who you are, who you come from. Why they stop calling us Moors and start calling us Indians, then stop calling us Indians and start calling us mulattoes and colors, and then stop calling us that and call us Negroes, then stop calling us that and start calling us Afro Americans along with black. So we had a choice. With Jesse Jackson did that. And then stop calling you black. Now they got another name for you. Foundational black Americans. Oh yeah. You the one who went through slavery. Or they taking you backwards and backwards. All this time we've been trying to get out of slavery and they taking you back just by you adopting a name, putting you right back in it. Amazing, amazing. These got to be colored people doing this because they the one who always starting us out. Them colored people, you never see them. You never see them. They're the part of the black hand. And I'm gonna leave you with this one point on the black hand. If you go watch the movie, what's the movie? What's the movie? I got it right here. Let me look at it right quick. Godfather. Yeah, look Godfather. And I think in the first part they're gonna talk about the black hand. He was forcing the ones who came here who was going to be gangsters was forced to pay tribute. So this was on a large scale. It wasn't just on a neighborhood gangster scale. No, this is what happened on a large scale. The elites, the dirty Moors. I don't think the good Moors was doing that. Anyway, I done downloaded a whole lot here, so this will last you for the day. I think I'll be pretty busy today. And you can go back and listen to this those 3 times instead of looking for some new material because you got a lot to digest right here. Okay, so I'm gonna let you do that today. And maybe tonight I might bring some information. It depends on what the members of the board say. I meet with them every day, and they tell me what to say, what you need to know. After they tell me, they say it's okay. Yeah, they told me to stop giving you those healing vibes because y'all wasn't ready for that. It could damage some of y'all because if you got your spirit and your body wasn't healed, it caused you more harm. See, this had to be done simultaneously. You got to be healed spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so I was trying to heal your spirit, and it doesn't work like that. It's not going to benefit you, spirit being healed, if you're eating hog maws and all this poison they got out there, meat. And even the scientists would tell you your meat wasn't made for eating meat. Your teeth ain't made for eating meat unless you got sharp pointed teeth. But we're dumbed down because you follow everything the man say do. You say, yes, sir, boss. I can do that. Okay, I'm just having fun with y'all. Don't be insulted. Cause we love to have fun over here. And that's being light, You know, because this matter is very serious. We got a lot of serious things to talk to. You got to lighten up sometime too. Okay, with that, we're gonna say toodly doo, peace to you.